So again, if you guys want to take notes or you guys want to share anything or ask anything, you can jump in at any time. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I think we go with the flow in terms of what we do each week, because as I was looking through the Tao text, it's a pretty epic text, meaning trying to get the essence out of it for me is quite difficult, because every page is like pretty epic. So we'll just see how we go. Okay. Yeah, it's just someone trying to get in. Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with the meditation. So I invite everyone to just get comfortable. And just close your eyes and rest your awareness on your breath. And just let's settle into the present moment. Settle into the lower dantian. Okay, so just breathe into the lower dantian. And what's that mean? Just follow the breath as it enters your nose. It goes down, but breathe down the center channel into your lower abdomen. Put both hands over your lower abdomen. And then follow it out. And we'll include mind power in this. So we will visualize light. Breathe in light down to the lower dantian. Sorry, got the giggles in the room here. So breathe in light down into the lower dantian. And then as you exhale, just let the field of the dantian nourish your environment. Okay, nourish your body, nourish your environment. Soul power. The Shen Qi Jing, soul, mind, body of the Tao One text. It's a deep text. It's an awesome text. They're all of the saints that help flow this book. They're the divine and Tao, all layers of divine and Tao. If you have a physical teacher, call them. I'm going to call Master Sha because he did flow this book. So they're the soul of Master Sha. Please be present. The Lao Tzu, all the Taoist saints, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Manjushri, the wisdom Buddha. Please help us retain this wisdom. They're all divine Tao treasures, turn on. The Tien, all layers of heaven. Di, Mother Earth. Ren, human beings and all life in between. We love, honor, and appreciate you. Breathe in the essence in every inhale into the lower dantian. And as you exhale, relax and feel the lower dantian expand. And the frequency and vibration nourishes your body, your systems, organs, cells, from head to toe, skin to bone, and your environment outside of your body, your family. I'm going to start by reading. We invite Wan Ling, dear Wan Ling, all beings, we invite you to learn this wisdom with us. May it serve you in any way on your Tao journey. Hello, Andrew. We're just settling into a meditation. So just focus on your breath, close your eyes, put your awareness in your lower dantian. There's also two people in the room here, Fletcher and Elisa. So we're going to start with just a couple of bits from the introduction to the Soul Power series. Okay. The purpose of life is to serve. If this is the only thing you ever heard, It is all you need to hear. So many people say, what's my life purpose? If the purpose of life is to serve, then when we serve, our unique individual purpose will open up to us. I've experienced this personally. When I was traveling doing the Love, Peace, Harmony presentations, it was the most I'd ever felt in flow, where I got so much insight over those 2 years, just so much of everything, just anything we wanted to do happened for us. We felt like we were just always following our Dharma. So if your focus is on serving unconditionally, but not wanting anything in return, your life purpose will present itself. So the purpose of life is to serve. I have committed my life to this purpose. Service is my life mission. My total life mission is to transform the consciousness of humanity and all souls in all universes and enlighten them. It doesn't say it in this, but he also says, or enlighten them further. So just reflect on that. Just reflect on his mission, okay? If he can enlighten beings further, okay? In order to create love, peace, harmony for humanity, Mother Earth, and all universes. This mission includes 3 empowerments. Remember, the light side empowers through love, compassion, forgiveness, and so on. My first empowerment is to teach universal service, to empower people to be unconditional universal servants. The message of universal service is, I serve humanity in all universes unconditionally. You serve humanity and all universes unconditionally. Together, we serve humanity and all souls in all universes unconditionally. My second empowerment is to teach healing, to empower people to heal themselves and others. The message of healing is, I have the power to heal myself. We have the power to heal ourselves. You have the power to heal yourself. Together, we have the power to heal the world. These mission statements and empowerments should really be meditated on. They are so deep. My third empowerment is to teach the power of soul, which includes soul secrets, wisdom, knowledge, and practices, and to transmit divine soul power to empower people to transform every aspect of their lives and enlighten their souls, hearts, minds, and bodies. The message of soul power is, I have the soul power to transform my consciousness and every aspect of my life and enlighten my soul, heart, mind, and body. You have the soul power to transform your consciousness and every aspect of your life and enlighten your soul, heart, mind, and body. Together, we have the soul power to transform consciousness and every aspect of all life and enlighten humanity and all souls. To teach the power of soul is my most important empowerment. It is the key for my total life mission. Remember, we are in the soul light era. We have been cut off from spirit, from soul. The power of soul is the key for transforming physical life and spiritual life. It is the key for transforming and enlightening humanity and every soul in all universes. The beginning of the 21st century is the transitional period into a new era for humanity, Mother Earth, and all universes. This era is named the Soul Light Era. The Soul Light Era began on August 8, 2003. It will last for 15,000 years. Okay, so I'm not going to go any further on that. But if you think about it, since 2003, the awakening of humanity, like I finished the Love, Peace, Harmony presentation once in South Australia, and someone said to me, why is it taking so long? And my answer to that was, I think it's incredibly fast. We've got 15,000 years. We've only been in it since August 8, 2003. A lot has happened and humanity is waking up, whether you want to call them truth vibrations or whatever. Everything that's been hidden to us is being shown to us. Does anyone want to ask anything on that? Oh, good. In the soul light era, all souls will join as one and align their consciousness with divine consciousness. We're going to go into this, but this is why universal meditation is so important. If you are inviting all humanity and all souls, including animals, nature, everything, to do universal meditation with us, and then we chant for them, okay? This is helping all beings align their consciousness with divine consciousness. This is some of the highest services we can offer, and also key for purifying our spiritual debt. At this historic time, the divine has decided to transmit divine soul treasures to humanity and all souls to help humanity and all souls go through Mother Earth's transition. Then he goes on to share about when the divine came to him, okay? So many people on the call here have received divine treasures. They're in this book. We will receive them in the book. I'll get you guys to read them, not today, but when we get to them. But I'm just going to go into that interaction, okay? So when he was teaching, the divine, Lao Tse, the great grandfather of heaven, the soul leader in the spiritual world, came to him. And in the middle of a teaching, he bowed down, okay? He had to share with everyone what was going on. I began by saying silently, "Dear divine, I'm honored you are here." The divine, who was in front of me above my head, replied, "Jigang, I come today to pass a spiritual law to you." I said, "I'm honored to receive this spiritual law." The divine continued, "This spiritual law is named the universal law of universal service. It is one of the highest spiritual laws in the universe. It applies to the spiritual world and the physical world." Okay, I used to skim over this because I'd read it so many times and I just used to just take it for granted. But when I really reflect on everything in this introduction, it's so powerful. The divine pointed to the divine and said, "I am a universal servant." The divine pointed to me, "You are a universal servant." The divine swept a hand in front of the divine. Everyone and everything is a universal servant. A universal servant offers universal service unconditionally. Universal service includes universal love, forgiveness, peace, healing, blessing, harmony, and enlightenment. If one offers a little service, one receives a little blessing from the universe and from me. If one offers more service, one receives more blessing. If one offers unconditional service, one receives unlimited blessing. Okay, the term unconditional is important there, I think, because to serve unconditionally means there's no conditions on it. You gain that amount of virtue because you're doing it selflessly. You're not doing it to gain the virtue. The divine paused for a moment before continuing. There is another kind of service, which is unpleasant service. Unpleasant service includes killing, harming, taking advantage of others, cheating, stealing, complaining, and more. How many of us might do our best not to kill anything? Don't harm anything. Don't take advantage of people. Don't steal. Don't cheat. But we complain all day. Okay? Think about that. It wouldn't be in there if it wasn't important. If one offers a little unpleasant service, one learns little lessons from the universe and me. If one offers more unpleasant service, one learns more lessons. If one offers huge unpleasant service, one learns huge lessons. I asked, what kind of lessons could one learn? The divine replied, the lessons could include sickness, accidents, injuries, financial challenges, broken relationships, emotional imbalances, mental confusion, and any kind of disorder in one's life. Please forgive that beeping. I'll go and turn it off now. The divine emphasized, this is how the universe operates. This is one of my most important spiritual laws for all souls in the universe to follow. Thank you, Fletcher. After the divine delivered this universal law, I immediately made a silent vow to the divine. This is Master Shah's vow. Dear divine, I'm extremely honored to receive your law of universal service. I make a vow to you, to all humanity and all souls in all universes, that I will be an unconditional universal servant. I will give my total gold, means gratitude, obedience, loyalty, and devotion to you and to serving you. I'm honored to be your servant and a servant of all humanity and all souls. Hearing this, the divine smiled and left. Sorry, someone's coming in, Sylvana. Now, again, I want to just touch on the power of, or the example of Master Shah, because I've made vows like this, but I'm slack, okay? Hello, Sylvana. I'm very slack with my vow, which is not good, okay? It's not good at all. I need to be more diligent with my vow. And as an example, when Master Shah made this vow, he is literally dedicates every moment of his waking and resting day to fulfilling that vow. So he goes on to say, 3 months later, the divine came again, and the divine chose him to be a universal servant, okay, a direct divine channel. And he says, when you offer healing, I'll do the job. And he basically gets a gentleman up. He asks anyone in the crowd, does anybody have any illness? And a gentleman called Walter had, I think it was a 3 or 5 centimeter tumor on his liver. So he asked the divine to offer a blessing, and he saw a beam of light, a download, and we're going to go into that now because I think that's very important. A soul software come into his liver, and as Walter was given a mantra, as he chanted that mantra, the transmission rotated and cleansed the liver. Now, to make a long story short, 3 months later, he caught up with Walter again, and it had shrunk. And then I think a couple of months after that, it disappeared. And he met him, like, I think 2 years later, and it had not come back. He was still doing his chanting for 2 hours a day. I'm sharing that because we can understand the importance of turning on our treasures and chanting with them, okay? But one thing I wanted to touch on is, so the beam of light is shone with a beautiful golden light in Walter's liver. The divine asked me, do you understand what software is? Now, I think that's a very interesting thing for the divine to say. I was surprised by this question, but replied, I do not understand much about computers. I just know that software is a computer program. I've heard about accounting software, office software, and graphic design software. Yes, the divine said, software is a program. Because you asked me to, I transmitted or downloaded my soul software for liver to Walter. It is one of my permanent healing and blessing treasures. You asked me, I did the job. This is what is meant. This is what it means for you to be a chosen direct servant and channel. I find that really interesting when I reflect on that. Does anyone want to ask any questions or share on that? To say that it's a software program, I think it's, for me, my understanding on that is there's a hidden teaching in there that this is a simulated experience. Do you want to share it on that? No? Does anyone want to ask any questions on that? Sonny wants to ask a question on that. Okay. Does anyone that doesn't understand it? Good point. Does it not sit right with anyone? Does anyone want to share anything? Remember, you can ask anything. If I can't answer it, I won't answer it. Okay.
I was just thinking, oh, sorry, Nick.
Oh, go on, go on.
I was just thinking about how, like, when people have health conditions and they start to talk about their health condition. And for me, it kind of makes sense about the software, because I feel like they're saying a repeated, it becomes a pattern, which is almost like a download of software. Like they go to the doctor and the doctor says, you have blah condition. And it becomes a label that they then start to integrate into their cells. And then when they talk about it, it's like they put an affirmation in front, they say, I am. And it's really interesting, even just like use anxiety, for example. And they say, my anxiety is my experience, and they talk about it like it's not a pet, but the program really makes sense. And it's interesting how if you talk to people about deleting certain words, like I often say to clients about, if the word anxiety didn't exist, like what's underneath that, what's the, it just totally makes so much sense to me if that's the program you're running. Just the same as the fear program that's been running the last couple of years, that people it's like they're downloading that, they're opting in to accept that software into their cells, into their being.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny because I think it was Greg Braden, I heard him say, when he was talking about the researchers who are now claiming we're in a simulated universe. He said, if you look at what we use simulations for now, it is for pilots or firefighters and things like this, NASA, to simulate, the dog's trying to get on my shoulders, to simulate simulate your wing not working if you're flying, right? A problem, and how you would handle that. And he said almost all spiritual traditions and religions that he's looked into, they all say that this life is a test or a playing field for us for something after life. So yeah, okay, we keep rolling. Just one thing I've touched on here is also that Master Sha is the sole chosen 373rd generation lineage holder of Pengzu. Pengzu, the teacher of Lao Tzu. I've shared the story on how Pengzu is Lao Tzu. He's considered the long life star, lived till he was 880. He's also been a disciple and worldwide representative of Master Ji-Cheng Guo. We're going to get to know this more when we watch the documentary. A lot of the things will start clicking together. A spiritual leader, my beloved spiritual father, one of the leading Qigong masters of the world, the founder of Junong medicine, body space medicine. And he's also been chosen lineage of two major Taoist lineage, but they're so humble they don't want to be named in the public, to the public. Okay. Another thing I've noticed here as well is he says in this book that the divine told him that he was going to release within, he just says very quickly, he was going to release 3 Tao texts, but that didn't happen. Okay, there was a Tao 1, there was a Tao 2. The Tao 3 never came for a long time, over 10 years. And that was because the students didn't learn the wisdom enough. He said, my students have just not learned the Tao 1 and 2 enough. So I'm not able to receive a Tao 3 for you guys. Okay, let's go into some of the key parts of the beginning of this text. Okay, so we've got Tao normal and reverse creation. Can everyone see the screen okay? Just put it back here so you can see it. So I've shared this, but Master Shah said it's like, I think when they went over the Buddha's teachings, a lot of Western scholars were saying, why did he repeat everything 3 times? Okay, spiritual teaching is like working a muscle. You can never hear the teaching enough. Okay, when you think you've understood the teaching, you'll get another layer to it. And there's infinite layers that open up as we open up to it. Okay, so I've shared this with you many times, but there's a lot in this. So Master Shah says this is the highest philosophy. So the Tao, we're down here. I'll get to that in a minute, but we're down here, right? And if anyone got on Master Shah's teaching for Australia, he said, fundamentally, to sum up what he said, it's easier to teach, it's easier for an ant to understand how we make and fly planes than it is for humans to understand the Tao. That's the comparison, he said. So basically, Lao Tzu started the Tao Te Ching by saying the Tao that can be comprehended with thoughts or spoken in words is not the true Tao. Okay, so the Tao is the source of everything. And when you think you know what that is, it's not that. Okay, over eons, it created a condition called Hundun Ichi, which is a blurred condition. From this one condition, above the line is the Wu world. It's the nothingness world. It is the unified field, if you like. You want to put a label on it. Over eons, this Hundun Ichi, which is blurred condition, which consists of heavy chi and light chi over eons. Heavy chi falls, light chi rises, creates 2, and it creates, okay? So this below the line is the Yo world, the existence world. So 2 is heaven and earth and the yin-yang nature of duality. 2, heaven and earth, the manifested world, plus 1, okay? The Tao, the source, equals 3. And from 3 comes the 10,000 things, which is all things. So I'll go into this as a bit more of a more comprehensive slide. So this is Hundun Ichi. And this is fundamentally the macro, which is a one field with no duality, the source. This is the one coming to the 10,000 things, the macro to the micro. And this is Tao normal creation. This is how Tao creates all things. Now, if we look at 3, we can look at the human body, okay? Physical body belongs to earth. The soul who's talking to you now, who's listening to me now, belongs to heaven. But we all exist within the Tao, okay? Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So there's 3. So this is why how the 3 can create the 10,000 things. So the 10,000 things are naturally on their journey back to Tao. Okay, they're returning from the micro to the macro. I'm just going to see if I can move this. Why isn't that going? So Lao Tzu said in the Tao Te Ching, he said, Ren fa di, di fa tian, tian fa dao, dao fa ziran. Master Shah made a song, one of his earlier songs is called Dao Fa Ziran, and it means follow what is natural or follow nature's way. Okay, so what does this mean? Ren is human beings. Ren, Fa means follow, right? So Ren follows Di, which is the earth. Okay, Ren is here, follows the earth, which means we follow earth's laws. If it's cold outside, we get cold. If it's hot outside, we get hot. If we jump up, we come back down. Earth follows Tian, which is heaven. Okay, anything that happens in the physical world, spiritual reason for it. all form is informed. Okay, there's an information behind all form. Tian fa Dao. Heaven follows the Tao. We don't even understand that. Okay, and Lao Tzu said in the Tao Te Ching, some things we just don't know. There's some things, some of heaven's laws we just don't know, and that's okay. Okay, Tian fa Dao. Dao follows what is natural. So if you were to chant Dao Fa Zi Ran, Dao Fa Zi Ran, and his mantra is really cool, actually, we play it one week. It is to follow your nature, follow what is natural. Everyone has their own nature, okay? Everyone on the line is uniquely different, but you'll have your own nature. So I heard Osho once, to just share this because it came to me. Somebody asked Osho a question saying, why are you against the ego? And at the same time, you preach that everyone should have individuality. Okay, everyone should have their own individualness. And he said, the ego is common as muck. It is everywhere. Everyone is dressing the same, acting the same, and just everyone's trying to fit into the same piece, the same mold. Okay, this is not word for word. He said, those that have no ego truly align with their nature, and they stand out like a sore thumb. So he used the analogy of Jesus, the Buddha, Lao Tzu. He said these people stood out and were followed by so many people for years because they were so humble. Okay, they didn't want to stand out. I think the word existence means to stand out. They were the opposite. They were just so still, so natural, supernatural, that they stood out. So Dao Fa Zi Ran is obviously one of the highest philosophies and mantras that we can chant. So how do we retain Ren, or the 10,000 things, back to Tao? How does that reverse process look? Okay. Everything, we're going to touch on Shen Qi Jing in a minute, but everything has an essence. The essence is Shen Qi Jing, soul, heart, mind, energy, and matter. My words of Shen Qi Jing. A thought as Shen Qi Jing. The body as Shen Qi Jing. The heart does, a relationship does. Okay. A human being's Shen Qi Jing allows a human being, typically, if you're lucky in today's world, to live 100 years. And it is governed, because it follows the earth, it's governed by Mother Earth's laws and Shen Qi Jing. Through spiritual practice, we can purify through doing universal service. We can purify our Shen Qi Jing, purify our karma, heal the body, prevent sickness, right? And then uplift our consciousness, enlighten our soul, heart, mind, and body. We can raise our Shen Qi Jing to Mother Earth's Shen Qi Jing. Now, this might be a big jump for some people, and that's okay. Anything I say it doesn't work, just drop it. But you become a Mother Earth saint first, then you purify your Shen Qi Jing, a human saint. You purify your Shen Qi Jing to Mother Earth's Shen Qi Jing. You're not governed by Mother Earth's laws. You know, many ancient texts have spoke about, and even modern texts of Westerners that have gone to Himalayas, they've seen sages on the riverbanks, and as the wind blows, they've just faded out, okay? Or they've seen people flying, okay? It might be a big jump for people, that's okay. But this is fundamentally, you've melded your Shen Qi Jing with Mother Earth's Shen Qi Jing. You're not governed by Earth's laws anymore. You jump up, you don't necessarily come back down. You also, these type of saints can stop natural disasters as long as it's in alignment with not interfering with karma. You purify your Shen Qi Jing further, you align with heaven, you become a heaven saint. You purify your Shen Qi Jing further, you become a Tao saint. You meld with Tao. So I haven't put it in here actually, but I should have put in, write this down, you, okay, Y, you, Dao, you, Dao, her, H-E, you, Dao, her, Jen, Z-H-E-N. Yu Dao He Jian means meld with Dao. Okay, so these are all mantras. Yu Dao He Jian. Yu Dao He Jian. Yu Dao He Jian. Yu Dao He Jian. That was my mantra for years with my mala beads, at least 2 years. Powerful mantra. Any questions before we keep rolling? Okay. So if we look at it like this, really simple. There's a sacred mantra in this called Tian Di Ren Hui. We've chanted it before in the Tao Te Ching groups. Let's see who's in the chat. Okay, Andrew, all good, mate. If you want to go, I'll touch base. I'll take your number. I do this every Monday. We'll touch base and I'll have a chat this week, possibly tomorrow if that works for you, buddy. Thanks for being on. Much love, mate. Anything below the line belongs, is the manifested world, including heaven, okay? The spiritual world is in the existence world. So what does a mantra like Tian Di Ren Hui actually mean? It means that all of heaven, Mother Earth, and human beings are melding with Tao. It means this, your world, is joining as one and returning back to the Tao. It's assisting all beings in the reverse creation. So because that's such a powerful mantra, Master Shah says in this book, he says, even if you don't use soul power, you just start chanting Tian Di Ren Hui, Tian Di Ren Hui. He said, any saint that aligns with that mantra, which is basically every saint that's vowed to save all sentient beings, they will come and they will assist your chanting. Okay, these are spiritual gems. Okay, write these down. Know this with these are absolute epic gems. You chant this mantra, the mantra alone will invoke countless high-level beings. Another way of seeing it in this slide, when we're looking at Tian Di Ren, Di is Mother Earth, human beings, and life. Ren is human beings, and Ren has a deeper meaning in Chinese. It means the best, the top potential of a human being. It's not just the average Joe. It's actually what a human being, what it could possibly be, okay? But also it includes all life in between heaven and earth, because Tian and Di, heaven and earth, are our spiritual fathers and mothers. We need both for life here to manifest, okay? At any point, anyone wants to jump in, you're not interrupting me, okay? You can just jump in. So with these teachings, the key in the Tao journey is Fan Lao Huan Tong. It's one of the key steps. So Sheng Lao Bingzi means birth. Lao Tzu, the name, the old master, okay? Lao means old, so birth, old age. Bingzi is sickness and death. This is the direction that we're going in, okay? Birth, old, sick, die. The Tao journey is to be detached from life, but also do spiritual practice to move in harmony with nature, to prolong our life. So in one lifetime, we can achieve more. Because if we reach, again, drop this if it's too much, if we reach soul, heart, mind, energy, matter enlightenment, remember, we are melding our physical body with the Tao. That means our physical body reverses in age. So the Tao practice, this is all life, Sheng Lao Bing Zi, birth, old age, sickness, and death. But the Taoist practitioner who does these practices is moving backwards. Fan Lao Huan Tong. Fan Lao Huan Tong means to retain the body to the health and purity of a baby state. Okay, so it's the opposite. Might have put another slide in here. For that. So we have gone back. Here we go. So when we look at Wan Wu down here, which is the 10,000 things, this is the cycle that we're in. Master Shah, I actually have heard him share that, you know, the heavens in this era, the heavens for too long, souls have been coming from the Tao, coming to Wan Wu and can't get out of this cycle. The karma has been so huge that we're stuck in Sheng Lao Bing Zi, okay? Birth, old, sick, die, birth, old, sick, die. And every time we're on this wheel, which is samsara in Buddhism, we're being reborn. Our karmas don't allow us to find the path. And we don't understand where we are. Therefore, we create more karma. And this Sheng Lao Bing Zi is a downward spiral. So in this soul light era that we're in, to have found the Dharma, to found these teachings, we should be grateful. Okay, we should be very, very grateful, because heaven is actually coming down and pulling us out. So this is why Master Shara said these teachings were never given the way they're given right now, and they're given purely because of the state we're in. Okay, we're too far into this cycle of Sheng Lao Bing Zi. We need to return to 3, to 2, to 1, to that. Any questions on that? Okay, very simple way of explaining it. Tao creates yin yang. Yin yang join as one, return back to Tao. Another simple mantra. Okay, all these ones just write down, or when I post them, write them down. Yin yang hui. Yin yang join as one. That means anything in the yin yang world, which is all the manifested world, including the heavens, return back to Tao. Yin yang hui. Yin yang hui. Yin yang hui. Yin yang hui. We'll do a practice in a minute. So, following the Tao of health, let me see. All sickness is due to an imbalance of yin and yang. Yin yang are two. To balance yin yang is to return to one. To return to one is to return to Tao. To heal is to return to Tao. Okay? That's why, like Cheryl just said, when someone's in like a loop of repeating what they've got no finances, they're sick, they're stressed, they're tired, what you chant is what you become. That is your mantra. So that's why I have beads, okay? Because if I'm overwhelmed or I'm in the world, even if I'm driving, I can chant a mantra, change my everything, my Shen Qi Jing, okay? Yin Yang Hui, simple mantra. Follow Tao flourish, go against Tao finish. Simple analogy is a raging river. You're swimming against that river, you're not going to last long, okay? You go against the universal laws and principles, you are becoming anti-life. Anti-life means you're gonna finish, you're gonna end soon, okay? Now, some people might think, yeah, but you know, I live 40 years. 40 years is a blink, 100 years is a blink of an eye. I've just been reflecting on this with my wife today, just seeing where the last 10 years have gone and seeing all my friends age 10 years and all them seeing me age 10 years. It really is an eye-opener into how short this life is. This is why in Buddhism and Taoism, we don't waste a minute, okay? Follow Tao, flourish. You swim with the tide, and you don't actually even have to swim directly with it. You can swim across, but just in the direction it's going. You have the whole weight. In fact, you don't even need to swim. You just need to float, and you will get carried, okay? So we can flourish in every aspect of life when we follow the Tao. Da Dao Jurgen, page 11. I've flagged this page. Da Dao Jurgen means the big way is extremely simple. Some people may think they are great because they know many secrets, wisdom, and techniques in spiritual study and other aspects of life. They do not realize Da Dao Jurgen. They do not realize that every aspect of life can be guided by the process of normal creation and the process of reverse creation. He's telling us that everything is in Tao normal and reverse creation. They do not understand or realize the Tao of their whole life. This is awesome. They may not even find the Xiao Dao, which is small Tao, in a single part of their life. Many times I have seen that the more one learns and the more techniques one knows, the more confused one could be. The big way, the truth, is very simple, very easy to learn, and very powerful. Take healing, for example. The Tao of healing is to balance yin and yang. To balance yin and yang is to return 2 to 1. This is to find the Tao of healing. Rejuvenation is another example. The Tao of rejuvenation is to reach Fan Lao Huan Tong. To know how to reach Fan Lao Huan Tong, then you have found the Tao of rejuvenation. I'm just going to show you something here that he doesn't mention. There's a student from Melbourne who, Master Sha says, what you chant is what you become. She chanted for, I think it was 18 months or 2 years. Fan Lao Huan Tong, Fan Lao Huan Tong, Fan Lao Huan Tong. She saw her skin become so much clearer. She took photos before and after. I know her well, she's lovely. She looked so well. Okay, so that's Da Dao Jurgen. That's the big way, is simple. Okay, instead of thinking we need this, 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 and this, just chant Fan Lao Huan Tong. Every aspect of life has its Xiao Dao or small Dao. To study and practice the Dao is to find Dao in every aspect of life, then follow Dao for that aspect of life. That aspect of your life will flourish. Apply Dao wisdom to realize and follow the Xiao Dao of different aspects of your life, then find the Dao of your entire life. You may reach an aha moment. You may realize that the Tao of one's physical life is to offer service to others, to make others happier and healthier. This service benefits one's soul journey. The physical journey is limited, what we've just been talking about. The soul journey is forever. Then you could realize the Tao of one's physical journey in one sentence. Now, write this down. This is so deep. The Tao of one's physical journey is to serve one's soul journey. The purpose of this incarnation is to progress our spiritual growth. Move this teaching further. What is the Tao of one's soul journey? One day you could have an aha moment. The Tao of one's soul journey is to uplift your soul standing to the divine realm. Why? Or the Tao. If one soul reaches the divine realm, that soul will stop reincarnation. This book, I think, was wrote in 2010. He's actually changed this, okay? So when he wrote this, Tian Wai Tian was considered the heaven beyond heaven. And if you reach there, you stop reincarnating. He's actually said many saints still reincarnate, have to reincarnate in this realm. So to fully stop reincarnation, you have to reach Tao, okay? The soul will continue to serve humanity and all souls in all universes in the soul form, but not in a physical form as the human being anymore. To summarize in one sentence, the Tao of one's soul journey is to stop reincarnation. Okay, physical journeys, the Tao, the way of the physical journey is to serve the soul journey. The Tao, or the way of one's soul journey, is to stop reincarnation. These are gems. You should read these every day. Move this teaching even further. What is the Tao of humanity? Another day you could receive another aha moment. Mother Earth is in transition, a transitional period. All kinds of natural disasters, conflicts, challenges, sickness, and other suffering of humanity are purification processes of humanity. The aha moment would be the realization that the Tao of humanity can be summarized in one sentence. The Tao of humanity is to join together in love, peace, harmony. Okay, so these are the key points. Physical journey, serve the soul journey. The Tao of the soul journey, stop reincarnation. The Tao of humanity is to join as one in love, peace, harmony. Continue to move even further. What is the Tao of all souls in all universes? What is the way of all souls in all universes? There is imbalances and disharmonies in the soul world and in all layers of heaven. As on earth, so in heaven. The Tao of all souls in all universes can be summarized in one sentence. The Tao of all souls in all universes is to reach Wan Ling Rong He. So I'm going to go back to this slide. This is Wan Ling. Everything in the Yo world is Wan Ling. It's all souls. Rong He is to join all souls as one. One is Tao. It's to get all souls to return to the Tao. So if that is the Tao, if the Tao of all beings everywhere is Wan Ling Rong He, then what do you think? Do you think that's a powerful mantra? Again, this should be, these are all daily mantras. Wan Ling Rong He, Wan Ling Rong He. Any melody you want. You chant that mantra, you are helping all beings return to Tao. So I'm going to finish on this because I've got a few slides, but I think we've gone up to the hour, but I'll just touch on this. Shao Dao is small Dao. It is to achieve Fan Lao Huan Tong, which is to return health and purity to a baby state. What is small Dao? Everything in your life follows a Tao. So there's a Tao of exercise, a Tao of sleep, a Tao of work, a Tao of family life, a Tao of being a parent, a Tao of being a friend, a Tao of chewing your food, a Tao of breathing, a Tao of public speaking. There's a Tao of everything, okay? Do we follow Shao Dao? Do we chew our food enough? I don't. Do we prepare ourselves for sleep? This book actually has practices on how to build your Jindan the moment you wake up, how to prepare your Jindan for sleep before you go to bed, how to prepare your Jindan before you eat a meal, how to prepare your Jindan to digest and absorb your meal. The Taoist way, the Taoist practice is you are always including the Tao of everything. The Tao of eating is to only eat till you're 80% full. Okay. The Tao of sleeping is, you know, typically they would go to bed when the sun went down. The Taoists would get up with the sun. They would prepare themselves for sleep. These are very simple things that we just don't do. I don't do. I'm not practicing what I preach here. I'm just sharing what's in the book. Okay. Chewing properly, sleeping properly. Are we on our phones too much? Absolutely, I'm on my phone too much. So to be in the Tao practitioner, and follow the Tao of everything is a present moment teaching. We are not leaking energy. We are holding energy in the body, and everything is building the Jindan. Okay. Da Tao, which is more in the Tao Tu book, is the big Tao, the big universal laws and principles. Okay. It talks about it in this, but you have Jindan Da Dao Shulian in the Tao Tu book. My understanding of this teaching is in the Tao One book, from our level of consciousness down, okay, is Shao Dao. We use this physical life in this daily life to build longevity in the body and support all the conscious beings from our level of consciousness down. The Tao Tu book is how we can save the greater Tao, the body of the Tao, the body of God, or whatever you want to call it, okay? We can save them. That's what Jindan Da Dao Shulian is. But don't forget, every practice that I've mentioned up to this point is still doing that. Shen Qi Jing Hui, Wan Ling Lung Hui, Yin Yang Hui, Chen Di Len Hui, they're all Yu Dao Hejin, they're all bringing the existence world back to the Tao. So we'll do a practice now. Does anyone want to share it or ask any questions? A lot of information there. Did anyone not follow that? Was I going too fast or anything? Please share. How'd you go? All right. Okay.
I'll share a practice that could be helpful for some people.
Please do.
It's very simple practice. Earlier on, we were speaking about the information, which I'm sure Nick will get into, and you can separate that into positive and negative information. But it's very interesting to observe your first thought in the morning. So quite often we'll take what we've been dreaming about, whether we're conscious or not, and we'll project that into the day. And that will form our ego and therefore form our life and what happens. So I remember there's a period in my life where I got very sick. And I noticed, because I was spending so much time internally to get better by myself and in nature, that I became a lot more sensitive and a lot more aware. And that moment when you wake up in the morning will set the tone for your day. So how you're feeling throughout the day and who you therefore become. So by just shifting that and becoming aware of that, from my own personal experience, it completely changed my life. But it's very, very interesting to observe what that first conscious thought is, because as soon as you become aware of that, you'll realize, wow, that actually dictates my whole life. So when you're doing dedicated practice, one thing you'll also notice is that you'll wake up with a mantra in your head, which is a very good sign that you're progressing as well. So that's something that you can do. And what I used to do is I just used to shift whatever that message was to a positive message, whatever that may be, whatever resonates with you at all. And just say that to yourself. The first thing before you get out of bed is just you shifting that thought. And it will make your day very easy to navigate and come back to that equilibrium, and allow that equilibrium to be slightly more shifted to the positive than the negative. And that will actually allow you to become aware of the patterns of information, the software that's replaying over and over again. And it will give you that kickstart that will enable you to navigate that or shift that in whatever direction you please. But yeah, also another thing I wanted to mention was that, and Nick will, I'm sure, said this many times, I'm sure he'll say it many more times, but it is the simple way is the easy way. And as Nick said, like I can tell you from personal experience, the difference between doing X amount of practice and a little amount of practice, and how I can handle the world and how I am in the world. What I'm trying to say here is, if you do the practice, So say you pick a mantra and you chant that for 2 hours a day, or an hour a day, or half an hour a day, you will feel the benefits. In the last few weeks, I've gone through a bit of a period personally where I'm like, okay, if our teacher, Master Shah, says this is going to happen, then I'm going to try it and see if it's going to happen. I'm going to try and prove him wrong, in a sense. Part of me is doing it. And from my own personal experience, it's been, incredible. So pick a mantra and just dedicate your conscious awareness to chanting whatever mantra resonates with you and see what happens. Test it out for yourself. That would be sort of what I would suggest. That's what I got from Nick teaching today and what I wanted to share. So I hope that helps and resonates.
Thanks, brother. And just to add on to that, there's a lot of mantras we can chant, and everyone that I've mentioned tonight is actually fundamentally doing the same thing. So play with melodies, okay? That's why I just sang a few, so there's a melody if you wanted to go back on the video. But play with melodies. Even if you hear another mantra and you like the melody, you can link that with it. Play with it until you feel comfortable with one. But then, as Fletch said, I think the benefits of getting the most out of a mantra is to just stick with one mantra for a period of time, okay? My Buddhist teacher said to me once, he said, and I've shared this with you, I'm sure, before, when you hear a mantra and it makes you have the same feeling as a loved one, like a grandfather or a parent or an uncle that you just felt safe and happy with. If you ever come across a mantra that does that for you, that's your mantra, okay? That's your soul remembering it from a past life. To touch on what Fletch said as well, Master Shah shared recently that those that know the Da Bei Zhou chant it 5 times before bed. And there's obviously a reason for that. It doesn't waste words. And it's true, the more we chant, if we chant before bed, it's very often I wake up through the middle of the night and I'm chanting, and then I wake up in the morning and I'm chanting. That's where you want to be. I heard Master Shah maybe, a year ago, and he said, and he was talking to all of his students. He said, you want me to tell you how to test how pure you are? You don't need to do spiritual reading. How long can you hold a mantra for? And I was like, wow, because I remember Thich Nhat Hanh gave a similar teaching. Thich Nhat Hanh said, if you are fully present for 5% of your day, you're 5% enlightened. He said the Buddha was fully present for 24 hours of the day. The same teaching, Master Shah said, how long can you hold a mantra for? Mantra never leaves the lips, right? I'm going to chant all day. Wan Ling Rungka, Wan Ling Rungka, Wan Ling Rungka, Wan Ling Rungka. I might go make a cup of tea. You know what I mean? Like, how long do you get distracted and you're not chanting the mantra? That's one way to see how you're progressing. So does anyone have anything to say?
Nick, I just wanted to ask, if you can hear me, was in relation to, sorry, going back on that text and the teachings, because we are going, we're at, if I understand correctly, we're at end times and we're going through an ascension. So, we're going into this new light era. How does that affect our karma? Does that mean we come back to a lower earth, or we come back to this earth on, or does Master Shah not touch on any of that? Probably a bit deep, I apologise.
Do me a favour, can you just ask that again? And when are you talking about when we die?
So I'm talking about now. So now,
yep,
as Master Shah says, we're going into a new light era, and many other deeply, sacred spiritual religions, I suppose you could call them, over the many hundreds or thousands of years have proclaimed this same time. So, we're all saying, a lot of them are saying the same thing. But so now we are living this experience in this human body. So when I am to transition, do I come back to this earth? Because, we're in samsara, if I understand correctly. Do I come back to this earth, or do I come back, if I'm not purified enough, do I go back to a lower earth, to a 3D earth, or do I come back to a new light era earth? Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. I fundamentally think that's down to you. Okay, that's down to each individual person and how much effort you put in. Like, because fundamentally, I don't know about yourself, but you know, this is how I see it. Okay, if I see it as, if we found these teachings, we're aware of the time, our good karma, maybe our dedication to these saints in the past has helped us find the path. Because, you know, I've heard Master Shah say before that in the soul world, the heaven is backed up with actual saints that are trying to reincarnate right now. This is how important this time is on earth. So if we grab this golden opportunity and serve unconditionally, which is all we're being asked to do, you know, for example, the Bodhisattva vow, the vow is to always come back. You know, it's to always serve wherever is needed. So it depends where you want. Like, this is a part of the Buddhist training, actually. If you achieve enough, you might not reincarnate. Or, you know, Master Shah says the longer you stay in the spiritual world before reincarnating, this is a reflection of your service, and that's good. The longer you can stay in heaven, the better. So you might reach a level of awareness where you can serve more from the spiritual realm. But I would say you were coming back. You know what I'm saying? But it's not for me to say. That's your practice. You with me? Where, like in Buddhism, Master Shah doesn't touch on this because he's promoting longevity and working. But in Buddhism, their focus is the time of death, where you train your whole life so that you are conscious when you die and you know exactly where you're going. And I've just finished reading a book today called The Tibetan Book of the Dead, and it's a book it's a text that is read to someone who is dying to try and keep their soul navigating safely in the bardo, which is the in between transitions, death and rebirth, wherever you go. So I don't think I can answer that for you. Silvana, do you want to answer something on that?
Yeah, well, I think Nick touched on it really well, especially with what Master Shah speaks about. And Nick's got an amazing understanding of, as you can tell, Nick picks up on so many of the intricacies of what Master Shah says, and a lot more than many other people who follow Master Shah. So it's very valuable. What I would say, which came to mind, is kind of the Zen approach, or my understanding of the Zen approach. And I forget who the Zen practitioner was that said this, but he got asked the question, what happens when you die? And he said, I don't know, I'll tell you when I die. So what I get from that is that you have to, in this life, trust your own experience, go with your own experience, foster your own experience, open up to the world, have a compassionate heart. Because although these teachings may resonate on a very deep level, and they may be true, fundamentally at the moment of death, it's you know, you have to open to that. So if you can practice throughout your life through meditation, opening to the realities of the world, opening to your experiences, letting go of fear through opening the heart, then I think I'm still very young in this life. That's sort of what I tend to focus on every day. And I find myself personally getting a little bit lost when I think about what's my next incarnation going to be, or what was I, again, who is the I in however many lives back that's influencing this life. What's important is to cultivate the awareness and the presence and the compassion in this life, and naturally that intuitive understanding will come through. So it's not to say that that question isn't relevant, and I ponder those things all the time, but I think it's important to have a balance in our approach. So it's okay, this could be a reality when I die, this could be what could happen, and I need to be aware of that or open to that. But fundamentally, I have to be doing the practice. Fundamentally, I have to be opening up to life. Again, it's the yin and the yang approach. So We're very grateful and lucky to have Nick because he can explain both. But I just wanted to add that where we can speak about this as much as we want, but I feel like when we face the reality of death, we are facing the reality of death. So you can practice right now facing the reality of death in your meditations, in your life, by seeing things arise and go, and practice opening up to them, practice experiencing them as they are. So I hope that that helps.
Thanks for that. It was awesome. And you know, Silvana, just to sum up this book, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it's a deep text. I'm not saying it's for everybody. I don't think it, you know, some people I wouldn't recommend, who I know, to listen or read the book. But fundamentally, the key in the Bardo is the same keys for in life. Fear nothing, attach to nothing. If you attach to things and fear things in the daily life, you're going to suffer. If you attach to things and fear things in the Bardo, you're going to suffer. My Buddhist teacher said to me once, the lower down the consciousness, the more fear. And straight away, I just had a massive aha moment. That's all she said. I thought, look at a cockroach. Turn the light on, poof, it's off. It's a fear response. Okay, you look at a lizard, you look at most insects, they constantly living in fear. You look at the higher enlightened beings, no fear. You could literally, I mean, when we look at the great sage, I can't remember his name now, he's known as the Bodhisattva of burning virtue in the 10 directions in Vietnam, who set himself on fire to raise awareness for what was going on in Vietnam, in the Vietnam War. He was an advocate for life. He loved life. He was a very happy monk. Thich Nhat Hanh knew him well. And he set himself on fire and burned to death in sitting in meditation. No fear. Okay, you know. So that's that's basically summing up the text I've just finished today. I hope that shines some light on it, Silvana.
You know, thank you. No, it does. Look, I guess because I know these are end times and Mother Earth, you know, like this whole, I suppose, from Mother Earth to many planets within this solar system, we are ascending, we are moving to more light. And I guess ultimately it is our own karma, which will determine, I guess, whether that reincarnation would happen at that higher level, or and it is very individualized. You know, how much have we individualized? And when I say individualized, I mean how much have we become aware of our own soul connected to the Tao? That individualization, like you say, when it's a very small, like the insects, there is more fear. But when you recognize that you are part of everything on that deeper level, and you know, you can almost, you know, to some degree, almost even pick up on some of past lives, you know, you can begin to put that whole coming together within that spiritual self. I don't know, maybe I'm not making myself clear or explaining it very well, but yeah, thank you. I won't go anymore.
You know, one thing we never got to today, Silvana, I was going to talk about it today, but it's coming up. You keep saying we're in end times. Okay, look at this. An end is a beginning is an ending. Okay. He goes on to say that our birth is the creation of our ending. Okay. And our death is the creation of a new beginning. So, you know, just to repeat end times, I'm not saying this is how you're thinking, but you might see this as an end time. It's also very fertile ground for a new beginning. Okay. And fundamentally, we need the world. I did a flow yesterday, actually, with Ami Tofu, and the message was awesome. And it's relevant now. He said, my question was, how do I live in the world, but detach from the world? Okay. And he said, the world is impermanent. It's built that way so we don't attach to it, because it's a It's a sacred playground for growth. Wasn't these words exactly, but so we need to use the world as like a rung on a ladder. Okay, we need the world to progress. We need samsara to reach down. So we need the challenges. Okay, but suffering comes when we cling to the world, not knowing what it is and not knowing that it's impermanent. But it was designed to be impermanent, so we don't cling to it. So it was a beautiful flow. And I hope it shines. Do you want to share it, Nels? No. All right. We'll do a practice. I was going to do a Tao practice, chanting, but then just before I started, I thought, you know what, I'm going to play a Buddhist mantra. Master Shah says Tao, Buddha, he's teaching the Buddhist way to Tao now. It's all one family, okay? So I'm going to play a mantra to Manjushri, because Manjushri is just as Guan Yin, Avalokiteshvara, is the condition of compassion, okay? Manjushri is fundamental universal wisdom. So when we understand and we tap in to the nature of unconditional wisdom, many insights come, okay? And my Buddhist teacher, she chanted this all the time. She said, you have to chant these mantras. You chant the Medicine Buddha's mantra if you need to heal the body, okay? So we'll play this mantra, we'll invoke Manjushri, okay? So everyone settle yourself, get comfortable. Deep breath in, close your eyes, breathe into your lower dantian. Dear soul, mind, body of Manjushri, the wisdom Buddha. Every Buddha, Bodhisattva connected to Manjushri. Please deepen our insight into the Tao teachings, into the nature of reality, into our soul purpose. Please bless us. See, call any loved ones in that come to mind. Please forgive us for any mistakes we've made. Please, any karmas that might be blocking our understanding of these spiritual texts. We're sorry, we love you. Please forgive us. And see Manjushri as light. Okay, don't have to, if you don't know what Manjushri looks like, don't matter. Just see incredible light. And the frequency and vibration is pure wisdom. I'm going to mute myself and we'll chant this mantra.
Om Om Arabadana 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 Om arabadan haydi, arabadan haydi, arabadan haydi, arabadan arabadan haydi, 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 arabadan haydi. Arabadan haydi, 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 arabadan haydi. Arabadan haydi, arabadan haydi, arabadan haydi, arabadan. Arabadan haydi, 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 arabadan, arabadan haydi, arabadan haydi, arabadan
Just stay with the breath. I heard Master Shah share once that he would, as students are not ready, including me, for a calligraphy of Yu Dao Hejian, meld with Dao, of where he's at right now and a big calligraphy. But when I heard that, I bowed to the floor because in 2015, he wrote me a calligraphy saying Yu Dao Hejian on a small A4 piece of paper. It is the highest achievement, okay? So I'm going to offer everyone on the line a blessing with that calligraphy. And when I do, you can sing along with me, but I invite you to visualize all souls singing this. It means meld with Tao. The soul of the earth, all humanity, all souls in heaven, all of our ancestors, anyone we have karma with, see their souls sing this mantra together, but this blessing is only for those on the line. They are the soul of my calligraphy and the Kaiguan, which is an enlightened blessing in the calligraphy for Yu Dao Hejian. Please bless as appropriate anyone on the line so that we can all be more humble, universal servants and not miss this opportunity. Blessing start. Yu Dao Hejian, 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 Yu Dao Jan. Yu Tao Hu 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 Jan. And just drop everything for a few minutes, visualizations, techniques, and just be and feel. Presence is gratitude. Calligraphy blessing, please rest. And when you're ready, place your hands in the traditional prayer position. And we say, how. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to all the souls we invoked, all the spiritual transmissions. Thank you to Wanling. Thank you to the present moment. Thank you to Manjushri. Thank you to the wisdom we received, which we will integrate either straight away or over the next few days. We have many aha moments. Thank you, Master Shah, the Tao teachings. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Gong Song, Gong Song, Gong Song means respectfully return. Everyone take the time, but if anyone wants to share anything or ask any questions, feel free to ask anything. As you go.
Wow, Nick, I'm extremely grateful to you and Master Shah and Dao for passing on that blessing. I had a couple of things I was going to talk about, but they're gone for now. So they can, if they're still here next week, I'll bring them up at the beginning.
Yeah, write them down if they come back to you. But yeah,
Yeah.
very, very grateful for what we've been given. So thank you for sharing. Thank you as well for being you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here and sharing.
Yeah,
Love
thank you. Love you.
you all.
Did I share that? No. Okay, guys.
Thank you. Much love to everyone. Have a good evening. Thank you. Thank you, Nick.
Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thanks
Love you
for
all.
that.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. All good. Well, we'll close if no one's got anything to share or any questions. That's all good. If any questions or insights come to you through the week, please write them down because they do help everyone when you share them. You can share them next week. Any feedback, just let me know. And have a lovely evening. I love you all. I'll just stop the recording.